Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Europe has just shot itself again in both feet. It did it before numerous times with sanctions after sanctions after sanctions against Russia. And now they decided to put an oil price cap on the Russian oil, which is set at $60 a barrel. That means if Russia sells or the market dictates that the price of Russian oil per barrel will be $80 and Russia wants to sell it on the European market, the Europeans will say no, we can't buy it unless it's 60 or below. So that's the deal. This is how the free market works. Russia announced that in this case we will not sell it to you at all. So it's not that we're going to sell it at the price that you impose on us. We're going to have the same right to impose certain things on you. And this is something that Russia tried to impose or not require for the past 20 years since Putin took office in December 1999. Christmas Day, New Year's Day, something like this, New Year's Day I think. So, and they said we want equal partnership. We're not your vassal states, we're not your weasels, we're not your bottom feeders, we are your equal. If you can't treat us as equal, then we will always treat you as an equal. So you can talk however you want, we will not accept that as the premises of our collaboration. Well, empires cannot accept that, and if you think that Russia is an empire, you just have to look at other countries that have hundreds of military bases all over the place and change regimes at will to see who's the real empire. Besides the fact that that country has a lot of military personnel and military infrastructure next to the Russian Empire. And the Russian Empire is so big that has nothing around the other empire's borders. So you figure. So anyway, let's see what the Russians are actually saying, referring to the oil cap that the European Union decided to implement on Monday. So in 2 days, that's going to be the new rule, and I suggest that you guys go and buy some oil right now and tomorrow, because Monday I expect things to be different, or starting Monday. It's going to be a process. This article comes from Al Mayadeen, and it's a Arab news outlet. This is the title: Europe to live without Russian oil. Russia's permanent representative to international organizations in Vienna, Mikhail Ulyanov, declared earlier in the day that the European Union will have to live without Russian oil starting this year as a repercussion of the price cap imposed on the country's oil. He also recalled how Moscow had made it clear that it will supply oil to the countries that supported it will... Something is wrong here. He made it clear that it will supply oil to the countries that supported the price cap that he described as anti-market. Probably it made it clear that it will not supply. And this is what he says here in his Twitter account. Starting from this year, Europe will live without Russian oil. Moscow has already made it clear that it will not, and that's capital letters, not N-O-T, supply oil to those countries who support anti-market price cap. Very soon, the European Union will blame Russia for using oil as a weapon. They did that before anyway, and they will do it again. Western nations have been trying to find ways to reduce Russia's income from oil and gas exports since the start of the war in Ukraine. Russia had pledged to stop exporting its oil to countries that would apply price caps on its oil. Meanwhile, I was about to say Medvedev, meanwhile, those who violate the price cap on Russian oil exports will suffer consequences under the domestic law of the jurisdictions enforcing the quota, according to the U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo. Now, why is the European Union imposing a oil price cap? I mean, the answer is clear, because the Russians are bad dudes. They did something bad, and they're not moral, and they are criminals, they are terrorists. Therefore, these guys do not do business with Russia, and they have to punish Russia like a parent punishes a child, or reward Russia like a parent rewards a child, if Russia changes its behavior as the parent wants. So if the parent wants a certain kind of behavior, good or bad, the child has to do it. If not, the parent is going to punish the child. All right, and when the child does that, it's going to be a positive reinforcement. Give him a candy. Here it is. Or you can watch TV or whatever you do. So this is it. That means that these guys are the good guys and those guys are the bad guys. Now, are they the good guys? Well, they say that they are. Okay, why didn't they impose any sanctions, for instance, on United States of America? Because United States of America is a good guy, right? Okay, well, history says that it's not always good. United States was not always good. Did some very bad hanky-panky stuff. And if we don't reward bad behaviors and dictators, criminals, war criminals, terrorists, then I would like to remind you that these countries, the same countries that voted to punish Russia because he's a bad dude, they do business with countries that have governments that are totalitarian, which means they are not democratic. So how is that working in the virtue signaling badge they attach, medal to on the chest? So you see, all this is hypocrisy. You don't have a value if you pick and choose who you're going to apply the value to. If you are for justice, you will apply justice if that works against your family or against this family or those people or everybody else. If this guy, as I said, commits a crime and your parent commits the same crime, you should call it as it is, the same crime. But these guys, they try to tell us that Russia is a bad dude, which, like any other country, good or bad. Now, European Union, remember, Germany, France, and other countries that imposed this cap and sanctions on Russia were part of the illegal bombardment of Yugoslavia, Serbia, in 1999. Just an example, where people died, infrastructure was blown up, and the country of Yugoslavia, sovereign, I must add, or I might add, was divided. And another country has been in the process of being created, which is Kosovo. Why? There are Albanians being over there. All right, that's what it is. Did you know that NATO did that? Did you know that NATO, the defensive alliance, in 1999, did not receive the United Nations green light? So it was an illegal bombardment. Everything what occurred in Yugoslavia, then it could be considered a war crime, legally. So these countries that now they think that they are the virtuous one and they punish another country over there, they did some hanky-panky comparable with these guys, okay? And if you go and look at any country that now tries to pretend that we are the good guys, as I said, you look at the United States of America, look at Germany. I'm talking about the important countries, not Poland, Romania, Baltic states, or these weasels, the bottom feeders. I'm talking countries that have something really to say, to a certain extent. And that's the United States. And then sometimes they allow France, Germany, and Great Britain to speak. And to a certain extent, Italy. And that's it. Sometimes, the Netherlands tries to get in, and so on. But that's about it. And if you look in you take each of these countries and look at their history, look just 20 years back, 25 years back, and you're going to find out they did before Russia some hanky-panky that now we accuse Russia of doing. And they impose sanctions on Russia, but the United States does not impose sanctions on Saudi Arabia. Is Saudi Arabia a democratic country? Has the same value as the Western Europe? No. They say, well, it discriminates against gays. It discriminates against this and that. They, how they call? They say they kill people, they just kill people for certain kind of crimes. They, cut their heads off and all that. How about China? Why do they do business with China? China is not a democratic country. And it has a communist government. So communism is not, it's the opposite of capitalism that these guys are talking about all the time, free market. Why do you do business with these guys? Any sanctions there? Or why not? So once you use your values preferentially and situationally, then you don't have values. So all this price cap is just more than, oh, Russia bad, we good, we punish, Russia changes behavior. Because we good, they bad. All right. I hope that we can settle this down, and every time these guys do something to Russia, which, as I say, it's not no saint whatsoever, but you at least you know that these guys are not saints either. So it's just who beats the other guy into submission. That's what it is. And then you wonder, why would Germany want to submit Russia when Germany would get oil and gas from Russia as a main partner? Because Germany is not an independent state. Germany is still under the United States' occupation. It has troops, it has American nuclear weapons on its territory. So, go figure. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.